I'm gonna level with you guys for a minute here. As exciting as it sounds that we're getting new TV shows based on Winter Soldier, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, and Loki for the still unnamed Disney streaming service, if it wasn't for this channel, I probably wouldn't watch them. If these shows do wind up happening, I will at least watch one of them just to have something to talk about with you guys, but if I wasn't a moderately successful YouTuber, I would honestly just move on with my life. I mean, there's too much crap to watch already. I'm behind on every TV show I already watch, and to add another streaming service to the ones I currently am subscribed to just really isn't in my budget. It's the same thing with Titans. I'm enjoying Titans, but if I didn't have to do videos on the DC Universe app, I would still be wondering why Robin is all Batman all of a sudden. It's not that I'm not into the idea of these shows. I would watch the hell out of a Winter Soldier TV series. It's just that I can't justify subscribing to another streaming service just for one television series. Unless that show's about Hawkeye. Come on. You know you want to see that too. Hawkeye has been a member of the Avengers since really the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He debuted as far back as the original Thor movie and had a prominent role in the first Avengers movie. I spoke more about Hawkeye and his history and his place in the MCU back in this video from before Infinity War came out. And basically I said for an important part of the team, he never really had the time to shine on his own. Compared to Black Widow, who's kind of in the same position as Hawkeye, but has been in many more films and therefore has had many more places to grow and change as a character. And now she's even getting her own solo movie, so what does good old Clint Barton have? To be honest, a movie seems like a bit much. A big $100 million special effects extravaganza doesn't really fit Hawkeye as a character. He'd be a better fit for a mid-tier action movie, something with the same scale and size as the original John Wick. Problem is, Marvel and Disney don't really do movies like that, except they really should. That's a really simple way to diversify their lineup. They have all these movies with impressive CGI landscapes and monsters and explosions everywhere. Why not do one film about a guy walking around the streets with a bow and arrow? Now, a TV series, on the other hand, something similar to what Marvel has been doing on Netflix, that could work. Now, I know I'm not the first person to suggest that Hawkeye get his own Netflix show. I mean, ever since Daredevil debuted, fans have felt like Hawkeye would be right at home on the service with the more lower budgeted, more New York-based heroes of the Defenders. I mean, they would have to make it significantly less TVMA than the other Marvel Netflix shows, but in that case, that would make it a good candidate for the new Disney streaming service. You can pretty much guarantee that Disney's not going to let anybody get decapitated with a car door on their watch. Something with a smaller budget, a more grounded approach, and a pre-established character is a great way to launch a new TV show. And why not pick a character with a small but dedicated fan base that would be game for a new set of stories with that character? Especially if that series is based on the instant classic Hawkeye run by Matt Fraction and David Aja. Now, if you haven't read this series, first of all, friggin' do that. And second, it's not really a grand adventure that spans the cosmos and features cameos from every corner of the Marvel Universe. It's a smaller scale affair, primarily taking place in New York, hell, primarily taking place in one building, and dealing more so with local mobsters than big-time supervillains. The cameos that do happen aren't really made out to be that big of a deal either. I mean, Tony Stark does appear in an issue, but mainly to help Clint set up his new TV. Now, of course, changes will have to be made in this transition from page to screen. Movie Hawkeye is already established as a family man with a loving wife and kids and a remote farm somewhere. Meanwhile, comic Hawkeye is very much an urban dweller, a very single man, and at least in this run, he's depicted as an aloof slacker in a way. But I think it could work. You can have him be on assignment in New York, keeping tabs on the Russian mob who were the villains of the comic book. You can even have him Skype with his wife to make sure she's okay and she can make sure that he's not in too much trouble, and it would be nice to see Linda Cardellini again. I always like seeing her in things. And plus, a TV show about Hawkeye based even slightly on the Fraction Aja run would be a great way to introduce my favorite character from the series, Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is also Hawkeye. Her adventures were some of my favorite moments from this series, especially the later issues illustrated primarily by Annie Wulff. This series made her a really integral part of not just the Hawkeye mythology, but the greater Marvel mythology. I mean, I've been running out of patience waiting for her to debut in the MCU. As soon as it was announced that Katherine Langford was cast in Avengers 4 in an unknown role, almost immediately everybody assumed it was Kate Bishop Hawkeye. I'll be honest, I don't think that's who she's playing. I think, if anything, she's gonna wind up being a disciple of Thanos or something. Remember around the time when Infinity War came out, and there was all this news about how Carrie Coon from Fargo was gonna be in the movie as Proxima Midnight, and then you watch the movie and it's like, well, Proxima Midnight didn't have that big of a role overall. It wasn't that big of a deal. I feel like Katherine Langford may be in a similar position. Now, that being said, if she is in fact playing Kate Bishop, well, for one thing, I would totally lose my shit. But also, too, I feel like it would be a great way to introduce this character to the widest audience possible. And once everybody sees how awesome she is, Marvel and Disney can be like, hey, do you like the Hawkeyes? Well, now you can see more adventures of them on our newfangled streaming service. And if Jeremy Renner does decide to step down as Clint Barton, then they can keep the Hawkeye train going with Katherine Langford as Kate Bishop, or whoever they cast as Kate Bishop. And through Kate Bishop, you can introduce even more new characters like America Chavez, Wiccan, Hulkling, and then before you know it, boom, Young Avengers television show. That's another TV show for your streaming service, Disney. You're very welcome. I just feel like there are many more possibilities with doing a show based on Hawkeye than there is with doing one based on really anyone else currently established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The character certainly would benefit the most from getting more screen time, and also it would lead to many more new and exciting stories to tell. I'm sure if they do go forward with a show based on one of the 4 currently rumored characters, it'll be fine. And again, a Winter Soldier TV show would be right up my alley, especially if it's like the Ed Brubaker series. But a Hawkeye TV show? Hell yeah, that'll get me to sign up for a new streaming service sight unseen. Or at least wait for all the episodes to be available, so that this way I can do the free month trial, watch it all over a weekend, and then cancel it before they charge me. Fight the power. But that's just my dumbass opinion. What Marvel character do you want to see get their own show on the new Disney streaming service? Do you agree it should be Hawkeye, or is there someone else that deserves it more? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. If you really haven't read the Matt Fraction Hawkeye series, I put Amazon links in the description for every volume of this series. You definitely should read it because it's a great comic, and you should buy the books from the links down below, because that helps to support this channel. As this buying clothes from Wulff Den Apparel, I will keep pimping this until everybody owns this hat. I want to see an army of Will Wolves next Halloween. And of course, new videos every Tuesday and Wednesday. Saturday is the backlog, and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern is Wulff Den Live. So subscribe to see all of that. Like this video and share it with a friend. Any friend, doesn't matter who. They don't even have to be a Hawkeye fan. Just share this video. Put it on your Facebook or something. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.